the Armed Forces provides amazing training.
I think about veterans as people who have already figured out how to serve.
My military skills have been essential.
Hiring veterans is a great business case. They're the best employees we have. They're flexible, hardworking, and they're used to a global workplace.
If that isn't an asset to any company, I don't know what is.
Hiring America, the award-winning television job fair for American veterans. Connecting you with companies who know your value. Learn about employers who are actively hiring today and organizations that support veterans. Your future success starts right here on Hiring America.
Welcome to Hiring America. I'm Lauren Wanko. Today we're speaking with companies that are actively hiring veterans and military spouses and with organizations that serve the military community. We're also speaking with veterans like you who've made successful transitions into the civilian workforce. Log on to our website, hiringamerica.net, for more information and follow us on our Instagram and YouTube channel.
This segment is brought to you by Lenovo, a proud supporter of U.S. Armed Services, veterans, and their families.
Lenovo has worked with the U.S. Veterans Corps for a number of years. It's one of our favorite nonprofits that help support military and veterans and their families. We've been involved in their toy drives, in their food drives, and one of our favorite things about the U.S. Veterans Corps is that it's an entity that is founded by veterans for veterans. One of the ways that we really love working with them is through their partnership with Operation Coming Home. Lenovo has supported all 16 homes. We have donated technology to help support the families, and we've donated desktops, laptops, and tablets, and we're proud to be able to do that.
I was working for FedEx at the time, and I was doing deliveries. I had been on too long. But I had trained with the guy and I had learned his route, and he had got hurt by a car accident. So this wasn't even like my regular route.
Ebony actually walked in our office. She had to do a FedEx package, and she saw the military stuff and, oh, I served in the military. And she tells me she was a medic, and she said her husband also served and said he had passed away. I said, well, we build houses if you're injured in combat. And when she left, I think I had her number on a piece of paper. It was only her first name.
He just knew that I was Ebony from FedEx. So he tried to look for me. It took him a year, and I just happened to call him out the blue because I was cleaning out a drawer in my house and I saw his card. And I called him and I said, hey, Andy, do you know this is Ebony? He's like, oh my God, girl, I was looking for you.
For a whole year, I'm trying to find Ebony. And out of the blue, I'm at a gas station, don't recognize the phone number, and she calls me and says, hey, and I said, I have been looking for you for over a year.
I joined the military. I ended up at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And that's where I met my husband. We both were in the same basic, same AIT, and then we ended up at the same duty station. We both were medics, so we both did the whole thing together. It was a lot of fun. When Justin died, he died in Baghdad. He died on duty. Matter of fact, he died and he was he volunteered. It wasn't even his turn to go. He had already went, and he volunteered for another guy that got sick. So he died by a roadside bomb.
Ebony, family situation where she feels, single parent, that's a hard life. Her husband passed away more than 12 years ago, and she still works. And raising 3 boys that that when she, and you can see it in her when we said, you're gonna be the next recipient, it was a huge stress off of her, paying rent, moving from place to place. I don't know how I'm gonna live.
I want to thank Andy and everybody from Operation Coming Home, Elena, Fresh Paint, the Preston Development, all the vendors and all the lovely people, the officials that got to come, my lovely family, of course, Justin's mom. I want to thank God also to making sure that everything's okay. I know we're here in honor of Justin, and Of course, nothing can take its place, but I just thank everybody's support and love to showing us that everyone still cares.
First time we've ever done this for a female, and also the family of a fallen. I think it was a bittersweet experience for her. I think that she was very grateful for the community to step in where she felt alone. We gave her a sense of another type of family, and we gave her a sense of we really do care, and we hope this is one small thing that because of the sacrifice that your husband gave, and she also gave herself.
After we moved in, I woke up and I was just ecstatic. It was just like, wow, is it really true? You know, like, wow, this is our house. You know, like, you just can't dream up stuff like that. You know, it's just one of those like winning a lottery type things. So yeah, it was very exciting. Me and the kids were like so excited.
Lenovo gives computers to all the houses, goes all the way back to the first home. And if any time they need to come in, I don't know how to turn this on, or the battery's dead in this one, very quickly respond, fix it, or come in and bring someone.
My youngest one is, you know, working away with the tablet, learning different things. My middle one, he enjoys the laptop, so he can have his own and he doesn't have to share, so he can spend time surfing or homework or whatever. And my oldest one, he's artistic, so he gets to use that. Another unique touch that we have into this house is a mural that was done in the garage. It's a combat medic badge. What that is the badge that you earn as a medic overseas when you're under combat.
Just like your husband, this was done for you, this combat medic symbol that, you know, relates to the both of you.
When I first saw it, I was super excited because being a medic, you know, it was near and dear to both of our hearts. We loved that job, so it was a pretty awesome feeling to be able to see that and know that we have that in common and we have that connection in the house.
With a house, there's this full story, a beginning, a middle, and an end. We built a house for an individual. Operation Coming Home in the very beginning, we thought it was just a house. It's more than that, it's a stepping stone of life.
You my helper? You my helper today? Greatest worries for a lot of people is housing and food and stuff like that. As a single mother, you know, I don't have to worry about a mortgage anymore. I'm able to do more things that I couldn't do before and able to take care of my kids in a way that they'll always remember that this is like home.
We are a corps of military veterans performing hands-on community service with a mission deployment attitude. We have 3 main programs. Operation Coming Home provides homes for troops that were injured in combat operations. Our Rescue Rug program provides food for U.S. military and families in need, and Toys for Little Troops provides toys to the children of low income and deployed. If you would like to find out more about how you can help our veteran families in need, contact us at myuspc.com.
"7-Eleven is the world's largest convenience retailer and a natural fit for a veteran with an entrepreneurial spirit. With military-friendly hiring practices, a charitable mission to support military families in their communities, and a robust veterans franchise program, consider 7-Eleven for your next career.
When you look at the numbers, veterans, they are the best that we have to offer in our overall franchisee base.
They know how to work with teams. They know how to coach and develop talent. They can react to changes or things that were unexpected inside of the business environment.
It's a very smooth transition for our veterans because what they saw in the military and what they experienced in the military, I think they get a lot of that same feeling of camaraderie and family and sense of purpose that a lot of them are looking for when they come to 7-Eleven.
Franchising is a special type of entrepreneurship. A franchisee, they own their business, but a franchisor provides a well-developed, well-designed business system for them to operate. There's 63,000 7-Elevens all across the globe. In the United States, we've got nearly 9,000 7-Eleven stores. Almost 90% of those are franchised. And so That's a lot of stores, so we have a lot of buying power that make being a franchisee inside of the 7-Eleven system pretty attractive opportunity. We've got a fantastic example of veterans who have franchised with 7-Eleven. Charles and Teresa Williams transitioned from the military just a few years ago. They embody those skills, those characteristics that we have seen successful franchisees demonstrate.
It was scary at first because it's not easy to just get out after doing the same thing for 24 years.
I wanted him to kind of show me that he was ready to get out, making sure that he understood that being in the military and being in the civilian sector was going to be different.
One of the biggest challenges I've seen with transitioning veterans is that they oftentimes are not as confident about what they bring to the civilian or the private sector.
You got a lot of questions going on in your mind. Am I going to do this? Am I going to be successful at this?
I tell them, you bring something that is probably the most difficult thing to coach and to teach, and that's the leadership skills. We can teach you how to run a convenience store. In fact, we spend a lot of time teaching you how to run a convenience store. What's harder to do is to teach those leadership skills. And our veterans have spent years, in fact, some of them have spent their entire career developing those leadership skills. And I think that's one of the reasons they are so successful.
After being in charge of 300 people, my leadership skills, my training skills, I mean, I'm marketable. I thought about it. Well, why work for someone when I can open my own business?
The first store that Charles and Teresa received was in July 11th, 2012. And now, 5 years later, they have 3 stores and they are working on now their 4th store. The one thing you're gonna find with Charles is he is very humble.
How you doing? Nice meeting you.
All right. And his humility level of like, hey guy, you know, you have 3 stores. He's like, no. These aren't my stores. These are my community stores. These are my neighborhood stores. These are my customer stores.
Yeah. Our stores are surrounded by Fort Hood, so we get a lot of soldiers in the morning that come in for coffee. It's kind of like I'm still serving, taking care of them in the morning, coming in, making sure they get that, you know, the hot coffee in the morning. Or most of them sit down, they come in. If they have any problems, and it's happened, come in and talk to me about some things, and I could probably give them some advice on some stuff prior to them going to work.
The more engaged a franchisee is inside of their community, the more successful their business is likely to be. And the more successful their business is likely to be in a shorter period of time. So as our veterans have become franchisees inside of our system, they engage the community.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Not just because it's good for their business, it's because they're wired for service. And being wired for service, as I mentioned, just happens to be great for the business. So it's really a great fit.
When I came on board, I started out working in a store. That was my first role, was a store manager. And then I worked my way to a field consultant and on to a franchise sales manager. So it wasn't, you know, that I'm out here saying, hey, come and franchise 7-Eleven without knowing what that's like on a day-to-day basis.
When you look at all levels of our company, there's a significant veteran presence throughout, and that goes from executive level all the way down through middle management and even at store level.
We have a very impactful veterans initiative that offers a substantial discount to veterans. If you transitioned out of the military within the last 5 years, that discount is 20%. If it was longer, then it's 10%. We also finance for veterans.
When I get into something, I want to advance. You want to continue to climb that ladder, and I learned that from the military also. Thinking about getting our 4th store, and it's on the way. We're going to sit down and talk about it, and we're going to make it happen.
name is Aaron Joseph Harper, and I'm from Rochester, New York. What I wanted to do when I grew up was to become a fighter pilot in the Marine Corps. During my deployment to Desert Storm, the Iraqis were close enough to us and they would launch 16-foot-long missiles at us, or rockets. And during one of those attacks, I ruptured a disc in my lower back and wound up being in a wheelchair. When I was told that I would have to be medically retired, it was really devastating. I didn't know how to handle that news. I got to change my dream. And how do you do that? You know, how do you just come up with a new dream?
About 5 years ago, Carolina's healthcare system didn't have a veteran strategy. I got tasked with trying to figure out how to put this in place for this massive healthcare system.
We had to determine what were our shortcomings, and one of our shortcomings was not having the ability to translate skills.
The first thing I told them was, you need to hire an NCO, a non-commissioned officer, because if you want to build something and execute on something, it is the non-commissioned officer in the military setting that actually does the work. Ultimately ended up hiring Aaron Harper, a Marine Corps NCO.
What I do for Carolina's healthcare system, I'm the manager of Military and Veterans Affairs. Our job is to help you bridge that military experience and then use it to your advantage into the civilian corporate sector. There is a pretty big adjustment. So you go from getting shot at or not getting shot at to coming here and normal life, so to speak. We're providing that hope. Here's the next chapter.
Aaron knows the culture of Carolina's healthcare system, and he's able to find those intersections for the veteran and for Carolina's healthcare system.
For Marine Corps, you'd say logistics. Here we say materials management. So a lot of it's just translating the word. What else did you do as an officer? Were you in charge of people? Did you have a budget? Let's take those skills too. Let's make sure that this is a whole packet, because we can certainly use your skills. We just got to get a rewrite on it.
I met Sergeant Ben Breckheimer in 2006 when we were deployed. We were in Baghdad together. He was a surgical technician. I was an orthopedic trauma surgeon, so we worked together.
September 13th, 2009, my very first IED took me out of the fight. And unfortunately, I ended up on the OR table instead of being on the side of it. It wasn't for a few years later that something just flipped in my head where I look at things at a whole 180 from then now.
I actually recruited him to come here with Aaron Harper's help with Human Resources here to come on in and work with us here in the operating room. The teamwork concept of CHS welcomed him in and really made him part of the team.
I love the rush of feeling patient come crashing in and all hell's breaking loose, but you're mentally prepared for it. You know what to do because you've done it so many times before. So it's good to give back and feel like I have a mission again or a purpose.
The National Economic Council says that healthcare in the United States is going to be short 1 million jobs. And here we have a bunch of military medical professionals with decades of combat experience who are coming out of the military. They're getting pushed into jobs that they're way overqualified for. And so Carolina's looked at this and said, we want people who can operate in a complex environment because that's what healthcare is. Well, who better than military veterans? These are the type of people that we want solving problems with us.
We want to take advantage of the leadership skills that you have, those things that you learn. I can deal with stress. I can deal with multi-parts moving at the same time. I can deal with hundreds of people on the field and keep them safe. So I want that here. I want that out of anybody here. The mission in the Marine Corps, take care of our country. The mission for here, to take care of our patients and our teammates.
As I work with other employers that recognize veterans, it's about respect. Respecting service and respecting sacrifice, and providing them an opportunity to continue to serve at the highest level.
The new dream now is that I get to help military members and veterans and their families. I get to be a part of that. That's dream B, dream part 2. I get to live it.